So every time the world gets to know a glimpse of what women go through, they act shocked. Did you know that half of all women, when they go through sexual harassment in public transport? It is a very sad situation. Welcome to the Being Bold podcast, hosted by Reproductive Health Network. And what we do here is that we incite conversations among adolescents and youths, conversations about women, conversations about youth on matters sexual reproductive health. And I'm joined with my co-moderator. She'll introduce herself again.
My name is Pamela Nyambo, and I am Rita's co-host. She didn't say my name.
I forgot to say my name. I assume you all know my name. And we also have one amazing young person. His name is Steve Ougo. I'll also let him introduce himself. Why did we bring a young person to speak about matters of sexual harassment? It's because most of the people who are involved in such acts are young people. And Steve Ougo will speak about that. We did not want to bring a woman because we feel sometimes we focus on women, we victimize women, we want women to say why they're being sexually harassed. But again, we also want to have the voice of young men, the voice of adolescents, the voice of youth, so that we mold a culture where men are taking responsibility and men are being part of the conversation. Steve Ougo, introduce yourself.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Steve Ougo. What can I say? I'm a young advocate.
Are you married?
So I'm just a passionate human being, a young person, and I'm already excited for this conversation. So, we'll just go as we we'll just go with the flow.
Yeah.
So Steve, you've been in the community and you've interacted, you've had projects in Nakuru, you've had projects in Mathare, in Korogosho, and you've interacted with young people from different levels, And we want to hear your perspective, including Pam and myself. We want to hear, madem wana going through nini kwa streets, and let's be open, let's share our experience. Kama best yako ashafanya mzee, tunaalika watu hapa. Sisi ndio prefect. Kuna time mimi nilikuwa kwa mat and nilikuwa nimekaa hapo mbele, na vile nilikuwa nimekaa hapo mbele kuna mbabezi unajua, he came and sat. Nilikuwa nimevaa leather, a black leather, and the guy was seated next to me. Tulikuwa hapo na dereva, the three of us. Hapo hakunanga night. So kidogo I hear my brother inapiga kelele. So I wasn't sure niko ni ubeba bag kubwa. Kwani hizi bag zangu na mizigo zangu zinajirani? But again I feel there is something. I was so scared. Siko sure niko mbabezi ako capable of kuingiza mkono. But I wasn't so sure. So nikasema wacha nisikie. By the time nasikia that man, his hand alikuwa shaingiza kwa pants zangu. And then I am like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I was nipige nduru ama nifanye nini? I was like senior people, I have a lot of questions. And the next thing what I said is, mzee umeingiza mkono yako kwa suruali yangu.
Miss
Like that's just what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the babes alisikia hivyo akatoa akasema pana, and then akashuka akaambia dereva shukisheni, akasema anashuka hapo mbele, akashuka gari. And these are the realities of women, Sijui maybe Steve maboy wanasema nini kuhusu hizi stories za kuharass mademu, ile story ya Nudi. What is your opinion on that?
Hey, okay, number one, I saw the video. The video is viral. So I just happened to come across it in my social media platforms. And one thing that I'll just say is when these people post these videos on social media, these people are always cognizant of the level of insensitivity when posting ama reporting to these sexual violence cases. And unapata most of the time they don't uphold on the rights on the rights. Let me just not talk about the rights, okay, but the rights and the dignity of women. So I mean, the conversations is always about women, and we forget to talk about the perpetrator. Imagine the conversation totally shifts to women. It's all about women, and one of the worst phrases that usually come across statements, like women are being raped by men, of which I feel like it's like, I don't know, we are making it passive. I feel like we should just shift it, and then we can say it like women, most men rape women, so that the conversation won't be about the women peke, but also these other sides, and what happened different this time was the conversation shifted the other side. Naturally, niliona video and I was okay. For the first time, I saw these men with reflectors, and we are so. Do you think if it would have been a different case, these people would have apologized? No, they don't, because most of the time these people walk. These people walk free, and they feel like. That is. I feel like they will continue. They will continue normalizing it because they don't feel they don't see the repercussions, or they know the repercussions, but they know the issue will just vanish. And
what we do when we focus on the survivor, what we do is that tunapea perpetrator mali pa kutorokea because they get the chance to,
I think he has covered most part of what I wanted to say, but this issue was also being discussed on radio, and there was a woman bringing down a woman saying that she was dressed indecently. Imagine you are seated. Now we are talking about public transport, but this lady was seated in her car. And she was just okay, and then according to the video you could see like watu wengi walikuwa wanamfuta wanamtoa nguo, and this mama had the guts to just say on radio that she was indecently dressed. Even if she was indecently dressed, no human being, no one's daughter, no one's son deserves to go through what that girl went through. And also you have talked about, I'm very happy because this conversation is among CC young people, because I'm assuming I am in my 40s or 50s and I'm seated in that car and I'm the one who hit the rider. I'm sure no boda or no rider, all those people who are coming to harass her would not have done that to a 40, 50-year-old woman. It's just because this young girl was just like, it was the fact that she was young. If it was an older person,
and even a man, if it were a man,
and sometimes even when we look at public transport, and I was just discussing this thing with Rita, even besides sexual harassment, mimi sijai ona conductor akibishana na mwanaume nirudishie change. It is always a woman like, uko na change yangu, uko na change yangu. It is never a man, and it really irritates me because sometimes we actually don't even know we are being sexually harassed. Sometimes it is these people working in the let me not say the conductors or anyone, but unataka kwenda kupanda matatu, mtu anamshika vibaya akikusukuma uende kwa matatu, saa zingine unapata ni cat calls, sometimes ni mtu anakuangalia in a certain way, sometimes it is comments, and we can't even look at the aspect of this one was dressed like this one was dressed like this, because we have had instances where I was dressed very decently and people still did that. So Rita gave her story. Let me give you mine. I was in Form 3. So I was coming to Nairobi I was traveling and I was in a shuttle. So I was coming to Nairobi and I got the privilege. Let me say the privilege. Kuka kando ya dere. That's it. Just hapo katikati ya.
The God driver.
Hapo kwa driver. And then when we started the journey, it was very interesting because this guy looked at me, the driver now. He looked at me and he was like, do you like stories? And I was like, me, I'm open to stories. Yeah, because I was like, I'm in Form 3. This guy definitely knows that I'm a child, Then he was like, he gave me like fresh PK actually. Yeah, blue. I will never forget. So I was like, oh, this is a very nice guy, So sisi tumeenda ndio hao and then he just started getting comfortable and anytime ana change gear ananiguzaguza, So me, I was like, maybe I'm feeling weird. My feeling weird, nilikuwa na feel kama I'm overreacting because probably he's just innocently changing the gear and he's not feeling like ananiguza, So this guy iliendelea. Bado na feel kama it is not appropriate. So I immediately texted my brother and told my brother, kuna huyu driver anafanya hivi and I'm not feeling comfortable. Akoleta nimwongeleshe but I'm like na niamua kunishukisha kwa gari nishindwe kufika Nairobi, what will happen? So I was also scared to speak for myself. So what happened, I kept quiet. So my silence, I think to him meant that I was enjoying what he was doing. So aliendelea, so now akaacha miguu, now he started putting his hands like on my chest. And I am growing. And ladies, you can attest, it is painful. So it was all over me and I was very uncomfortable. And to me, when this whole conversation came about, I was just thinking about what other people, like me, I never spoke out, but when we got to Nairobi, I reported him to the offices and action was taken. But I'm looking at so many other people who are not in a position to defend themselves, so many other people who cannot even tell a brother, a sister, this happened to me. Our silence is enabling these people to continue doing what they are doing. So, I feel like I've talked too much.
It's fine because you're bringing very important aspects. During the International Women's Day, we were speaking about breaking the bias. And one of the bias we want to break is silence. Because when we keep quiet, for me, this guy, I would not have shouted what would have happened. But I didn't also want to speak about, are these cases even reported? I did not report. I didn't tell anyone. I actually remembered this today when I was thinking of us doing a podcast. But I've never really thought about it. But it disturbed me because I felt dirty. I felt like I don't even know this person has touched me, So, but we don't really speak. Why don't we even report these cases?
And the way you have said, when someone touches you in a very inappropriate manner, you know how filthy you feel. So imagine this girl at Forest Road who was being touched by several people. You can imagine how she is feeling right now. You sometimes you just go to the shower and you feel like ata hiyo maji na sabuni haijatosha. You just feel like you're filthy. So I cannot even begin to imagine the state that girl is in right now.
Kidogo ni hatu hizo. Okay, so today I want to talk about, I'll just talk about women. From my personal experience, what I've seen in our public transports. So that is matri. Kuna difference ya matatu na matri.
Acha tuseme matatu ni hizi ndogo alafu so matri ni hizi kubwa.
So matri ni hizi ndogo and matri unapata zinaenda most places kuliko hizi matri. So and most of the time unapata since inabeba few passengers, these people tend jaza. So you find, I've seen it severally. Unapata squeeze and then by any chance, okay, I've seen it. I don't want to mention the places, but I've seen it in one of the matatus. So that matatu, like, there's no space that is being left even at the middle. So they put kambao. So even at the middle, hapo mbele. So it was this chile. I think Ali sat even, Ali carried the one was behind her. So this guy was like, it was like the chile is searching on the guy. And the guy was enjoying, like, hey, shit, okay. So the guy was just smiling. Like, you know, in fact,
no, I'm smiling because you're smiling.
So
that's terrible.
Okay, that one, you know, like, we just I was with my friend at the back, and you know, we were just seeing it, and she was a lady, and this is bad. So that was the first time I think I saw it when I was in Amataki. And then there's a time I was with a friend of mine. So she likes sitting at the window. So, and also loves sitting. So maybe he ended up to the further side, kind of the other side. So there was this kajama. So my friend loves, you know, mini skirts. So there was this kajama. And at the moment she sat on the seat, she was just looking at her thighs. So she was just there. And I saw it the moment alika. And I texted her, and then kaombe, hey, have you noticed something from the guy, something fishy? And they've actually seen it. She has been looking at my thigh. So hata tujaanza match zaenda, but the guy is already. So this guy, like, alilikuwa hapo mbele, unaona, so alilini, and then, like, so he thought the girl wouldn't notice, so alilini, but and
you know, these cases, we are speaking about sexual harassment, but we also need to think about the extremes. We've had a lot of rape cases being done by border riders, a lot of rape cases. We speak about the taxis, the Uber, you know, these things happen, and women are not able to, nobody gets to know about it, they never get reported. And thank you so much for sharing about your experience. You started also speaking about the media, you know, and maybe it's also time we think, because of the same generation, you know, and our media, you know, tuko social media, kuna TikTok, kuna memes, kuna hizo vitu zote. So role ya media na sisi young people, na hizi stories of sexual harassment, how is the media curbing these cases? The other day you story about, na pia hata some 2 years ago, there's a woman who was stripped kwa matatu, you know. So what is the role of media kwa hizi stories zote?
Okay, number one, I just want to bring you nyuma kidogo. I think you come across the CC, was it CC wanawake? Yeah. CC wanawake. The memes, So
even mtu akifanya challenge
so personally I've been focused in most of, you know, male conversation, because they feel like wananiambia like uko na mama, wewe ni mwanamke, you know. So and see peke yake, I mean, this thing has been happening, and men are being forced to, you know, let me just say, abide, due to lack of a better word, to the societal depictions of a man. A man is supposed to do whatever. When a man doesn't do whatever, is being regarded as weak, while the weakness is being associated with the women. So unapata okay, mulikuwa na fight and then umechapwa and then unapata the guy anaambiwa kuna mama. So I feel like these were the red flags. Sisi wanawake ilikuwa the red flags, and I feel like it kinda leads to what transpired. Because unapata maybe it started with one person. Of course, it started with one person.
Yeah.
So men were coming to do the whatever so that they can have a story to tell to their to the audience stuff. Unapata like mimi nilishika enyewe ni mwanaume,
so kuna pia pressure fulani tunayo sisi.
Yeah, and then niko sitaki kusema me, I won't say that that women are being favored. Neither will I say that the reason why I won't blame. Okay, let me just. Of course, I won't blame any. But nitasema it's just. I feel like the society is failing us in a way, and we don't just need to just specify one gender that is failing the other, but it's just the system. Maybe the invisible hand behind the scene. You can't really tell. I mean, we're just we're taking this thing as normal.
Yeah.
I feel like unaona sasa like madem pia tupatikana, unapata madem when unapata hey but when and then men nini, it's like there's like a fight kanini
and maybe anaweza tuambia, anaweza endelea the conversation when we saw, and not just when it incident may happen, even before, when women start speaking about their issues or a woman has been abused, and then sisi feminist tunaenda mtandaoni, unapata watu wanaanza kusema mambo
I am actually waiting that.
Watu wanasema ati why not men, sijui men, ukisema women, I post on Twitter, women rights are human rights, mtu anajibu hapo chini, men rights are also, niko like what?
Let me just read you that question. So I'm going to give credit to whoever posted this. He's called Real Mike Washira. He's a radio presenter, I think. So he said, someone asked me today, why is it that most men will only bring up violence against men when women bring up violence against women? That men waiting to hijack the moment by asking, what about us? Is unfair to women who continuously organize themselves and agitate on their issues when men are quiet about theirs. So maybe we can discuss that a little. And I even get these issues with my friends. Every time we can just come up with a scenario or think about a scenario and start talking about how unfair it was. And then from nowhere, someone will just bring in, oh, the men have been forgotten. What it is.
What about the guy who was not
Yes.
It
is not, they never talk about, and it is not in a bad way, but like, I feel like men never talk about their issues independently. Like the way we come and say we didn't like this, or we don't like the way we are being treated. I don't know, I might have missed, or maybe I have not met or interacted with that kind of content, but I've never seen a post or something that, like a movement saying that something about a man has happened and we need to sort this. It always has to come from when a lady has had an incident and we are trying to get justice for this person, and then we get, now people say we have forgotten the boy child, we are empowering the girl and forgetting the boy child, or we are being favored, we are being what, which I don't feel is right. And according to Steve, what according to what Steve has said about the society holding men to a certain standard, they feel like if you want to be a man, a real man, you have to be doing this and this, and you cannot go complaining, looking vulnerable. I think it all narrows down to that, because I don't feel like I've not yet seen a bold voice of a man just saying that I did not like how I was treated and this and this and this. I've not seen a man who is bold enough to just say, this is what happened, I didn't like it, let's do something about it. It always has to come from all these conversations going around, and maybe we can discuss this post.
One thing when such comments come, what comes in my mind is that it is not a competition. Any type of violation of human right is a violation of human rights. I will speak about women because I care about women. And I have nothing against someone who speaks about women.
True.
So it should not be who has been abused, why not speak about, as long as you are if you are advocating about children, I support you, you're passionate about children. And I'm not saying that if you're not passionate about women, you cannot join women movement.
Yeah.
Just what I'm trying to say is that people have different interests and different passion, and it's okay for you to go for what you care about, and it's so good for you to support others. If me, I hear people speaking about LGBTQ rights, I will join them because I don't think anyone should be harassed because of their gender,
Yeah.
I might not be that vocal about LGBTQ, but I support human rights,
Yeah.
If I hear someone speaking about children, if I hear someone speaking about men's rights,
Yeah.
I will join because I care about humanity. It is not a competition. So the idea of bringing men's rights when we're speaking about a woman who has been harassed is an injustice, and it represents the society we live in. The society that is dominated by men, patriarchal. What is patriarchal? Men domineering.
Yeah.
And even when injustice is done to women, we are still speaking about men. It is not fair.
Yeah.
It is not fair.
Yeah.
Kabisa. And maybe because time is not really on our side, maybe we can speak about what recommendations are we giving. We have gaps in the police, in the whole police and we have a Sexual Offences Act, but it's not being implemented. Sexual harassment is a crime.
Yeah.
What is happening? What are the recommendations in terms of the safety of women? To be able spray. So what recommendations would you give?
Okay. Actually, hey, can I add something?
Yeah.
So number one, people have been telling me that Nico no mama sababu I'm advocating for women's rights, and still the same. Yes, we advocate for women's rights. What are these rights exactly? Sindio? So now we all have passion towards different areas, and by me seeing a problem, and I feel like I want to address it and just give my own opinion. I'ma just see how we can deal with the problem. It doesn't matter which problem it is. Me fighting for the rights of women, me being a man fighting for the rights of women doesn't put me.
Or it doesn't make you less of a man.
Yeah. I've seen the problem, and I want to see how we can deal with the problem. So CRT, and as Rita has just said, we all have different passion. If you feel like you've seen a problem, you've seen that men are not being engaged, then you address. Just champion.
We will support you.
We will support you.
Yeah.
And I won't really talk about the conversation that we are having right now. But I feel like when you empower the women in one or another, the men are also being empowered. Because when you empower that woman has a brother, that woman has a boyfriend, that woman has men around her. So in one or another, the men around her circle will also benefit.
Yeah.
And in another way or another, all of us will benefit.
Yeah.
And maybe we can just do it as we can just do it as a joint thing. Like even the men can also empower can also champion for women's rights. The same case, women can also. Yeah, it's all about, humanity. Okay.
Okay. So I like what you've said. I think also in regards to your question about how we can prevent these issues, involving the men is very key. And I saw a quote or something on social media. It might not go like I can't remember exactly the words, but in the sense that we don't always have to relate these things that this could have been your sister, this could be your mother, your sister-in-law, your girlfriend. Sometimes it all narrows down to humanity. You can't just do these things to someone, So sometimes, dismiss your point. It's just that post really got me, because sometimes we want to justify it by saying it was so-and-so's brother, so-and-so's sister, so-and-so's me. But we just look at it from a point of, this is a human being who has feelings and will be traumatized from these actions, will live the rest of their lives. You can imagine, I'm sure this girl was even scared to drive after that. Probably this girl will be scared to drive maybe for some time before she lives. Okay. Another thing, let's talk about when you're using taxis, Uber, Bolt, all those apps we use. For me, I would recommend us as ladies, if you don't feel safe, first of all, always check that the car that has come, the number plate that is there on the app is the one that is the car. Like the car on the app is the one that has come, because kuna kuangana hiyo mtu anakuja nakwambia, oh, they told my car, so I am using my friend's car, and if something happens, no one will be held accountable for that situation. So to just prevent that, so make sure when you're using the cabs and all, make sure the car that is on the app, the number plate that is on the app is the one you are using. Number two, I would also recommend you share, if you feel there is any sort of, if you have those two instincts that are telling you, just share your ride. There's that option of sharing your ride. You can share it. If you're coming from Rita's place, if you're coming from Steve's place, you can say, you can track my ride so that in case anything happens, you know where I am at. I also feel like, when we come to matatus is a whole discussion, because this is where majority of the population is. This is where everyone is using matatus. Even people who own cars are using matatus. It's cheaper. So it is cheaper. It is what everyone considers comfortable, and affordable for everyone. So I don't know how we can deal with that, because but I think when we have female touts, umeona tukiwa na au makondakta wa mama, by then you can't be mistreated by unaingia kwa matatu kama ametetea, hata unaona vile wana treat wazee, you see the way they are respectful, you see they are not as don't care. Unaona sometimes this is besides the discussion, but sometimes there's a mama maybe is pregnant ama amebeba mtoto, and then the moment amekelea tu hivi mguu, conductor ashagonga gari aanze kuenda, mama amebeba mtoto, amebeba bag, amebeba nini. You can't even, maybe from the experiences I've had when uko na conductor, a lady huwa ana make sure anangojesha gari mama ashuke ama apande mpaka asettle na mtoto kwanza ndio gari iende. Where is the hurry? Unaharakisha tunaenda wapi?
Our dignity comes first.
Yes. So, but I also think men who are in that industry to just, I think it also narrows down to the person, because there are people who I've met who are very nice and they are very respectful, and there are people who are not respectful. They are not even trying an inch to be respectful. So it also narrows down to the person. So I don't know what can be done in that area.
I'm thinking of, because I want first to applaud the president for his efforts to address that issue, and also speaking about border. You stood by women, and that really shows. I loved how the girl, the way she screamed. I know as a country we might have not supported her fully.
Yeah.
Her voice has screamed, we were not able to listen to her well. But again, I want to applaud the president. And one recommendation I would give the president and all the stakeholders involved is the need for this to cut across all other public transport. The need for us to bring in the men, speak to them about women's rights. Let them understand that, because from what I am getting from the conversation, sometimes people don't even know that they are abusing others.
Yeah.
So the need for them to know what the law says about sexual harassment. The need for us to see to those circles. I know they have circles, and them understanding that they cannot just violate women the way they feel like and pull them, and the power struggle, all that, And for me, I feel there's that need for us to sit and have these kind of conversations, and then knowing that they'll be held into account. If you do this to a woman, this is what the law says, Another recommendation I would have, and this is for women, I don't like the idea of telling women what to do because it's about men. Yeah. But again, now when it feels like we are not safe. It's not safe for us, so we need to act. And from what you're getting, we are angry. Yeah. We are angry people, we are angry women. He's an angry man, and even other men who are feminists are angry. So it means we need to act. If you need if you ukitoka mahali unaenda ukuje late, have that specific person wa boda ukuchukue, for safety reasons, because it is not safe for us.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything before we wind up.
Okay. Just one of my recommendation. So number one, I just follow the president. CJ, for the first time we felt you, and it's just a journey of 1,000 milestones. We have let's talk about the policies. So we have a lot of policies. We have the Sexual Offences Act,
the Employment Act.
The Employment Act. Let's not forget even the public transport. There's I've forgotten the name, but we have all these policies, and what we are asking, are just simply the implementation of these policies. When I talk about the implementation, the implementation, I just talk about it not just here, but even at the grassroots. These people also need to know that when you do this, these are the repercussions, these are the penalties. Ushiona mani pameandikwa usikojoe hapa, usikojoe hapa, people will still do their stuff there, but pakiandikwa ukikojoa you'll pay a fine within no time about the place is dry. Yeah. So people need to know that when you do this, these are the repercussions. Yeah. It will help reduce these cases. These people, we need to create more conversation so that people know that we need to have bonanzas for ground, we need to have conversation, community engagements with men who feel that they are not involved, at least to have a conversation and hear what they have to say in regards to the same. Yeah. We need to hear their own perspective. Maybe God has a same, they don't know you do this, but we need to hear what they have to say. So we need to involve everyone. Everyone needs to come on board and give their own point of view. And from that, I'm sure that we will come to a consensus that this is the direction that we need to take. Yes, as meaning, but as anyway.
Thank you for that recommendation, because we needed that in terms of policies. And our general recommendation to women, maybe what we can say to women out there, is that we have a voice and our voice matters. And we stand with all women. Let's report these cases. And as we finalize, remember to nena na binti through 0800 211 227. So thank you so much for watching our podcast. Follow Reproductive Health Network. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, on where else? Instagram.
Hey, everywhere.
Everywhere, and on TikTok, and Binti.
Yes, and also, just before we finish, not all writers are bad. Hatujasema watu wadudu ni mbaya. In fact, you are saviors. Mnatuokoleanga zile matime. But please, for the population that is doing this, na mnafanya watu wadudu waonekane ni wabaya. Please, mwache kuchoma. Mwache kuchoma. Thank you.
That was a good. That was really great. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
It was a pleasure.